about protected cultivation structures. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Our topic is protected cultivation structures, and I will briefly introduce you to the subject. First, let us look into what protected cultivation is. Protected cultivation, we need protection to the crops from various outside agencies. What are the protections required from? Mainly the extremes of climate, meaning rain, extreme of temperature, sunlight, frost, wind. These are extremes of climate from which our crops need protection. Then second thing is protection from pests, various insect pests and fungi, bacterial pests. They also attack the crops and we need protection from them also. So for that purpose, the protected cultivation structures are useful. Why the protected cultivation structures apart from protection, what benefits we get from the protected cultivation? The yield is increased, more yield per unit area. This is because of increased CO2 level in the protected cultivation structure. CO2 is the carbon dioxide is the basic of organic matter, and the level of carbon dioxide in polyhouses is 3 to 4 times more than open atmosphere. So naturally, carbon being the building structure, the yield is more. Then because of the protection, the crop duration is also increased. For example, if the tomato crop in open field lasts for 3 to 4 months, in polyhouses, it can last for 8 to 9 months. And it during that period also, it gives profused fruiting. So increased crop duration directly increases the yield and benefits the farmers. Then the produce is uniform. Size, shape, color, luster, these are very uniform in the produce and therefore fetch better market prices. Then in the next benefit is saving in pest control measures, saving in expenses for pest control. Then since it is under protected cultivation, we have less evaporation and we can save on water also. And another benefit is off-season production is possible in protected cultivation structure. And if off-season fruits and vegetables can be provided, we can get better rates and better prices. So these are other benefits of protected cultivation. For this protected cultivation, we have to construct the protected cultivation structure. What are these structures? Main protected cultivation structures are polyhouses, also known as greenhouses. This is the photograph of polyhouse. Then comes shaded houses. This is the photograph of shaded house. In polyhouse and shaded house, the difference is that polyhouse is covered with polyfilm, which doesn't allow rain to enter into the polyhouse. Whereas in shaded house, rain can enter. So generally, in polyhouses, we can take crops which have duration for more than 1 year, like roses, carnations, then gladiola, roses, carnation. These last for 3 to 4 years after plantation. And in shade-net houses, we can take seasonal vegetables. Then come the polytunnels. Polytunnels don't have gutters and they are single span small tunnels for row crops. They have two types: low height see-through polytunnel and walk-in tunnel. But in India, polytunnels are not in use as much as the polyhouses and shade-net houses are. Then next is row cover or crop cover. It is specifically used in crops like grapes and pomegranate, and on the rows only we can put protected cover of polyfilm. These four protected cultivation structures are mainly used in India. This is a photograph of protected cultivation structure polyhouse. We'll now see what polyhouses are. Polyhouses are of different types: open vent, naturally ventilated polyhouses. Then next is in naturally ventilated polyhouses, structure is like this. It has top vent. On the top side there is a vent, and on the sides there is a roll up curtain. This polyhouse is under construction, and the backside area is covered with the polyfilm and net. The work is in progress. This is also a naturally ventilated polyhouse wherein uh, roses is taken. The next structure is controlled climate. In this, there is no ventilation, but there are fans and pads for control of climate inside the polyhouse. This is the plantation of anthurium, and you can see here the fan end of the gable side. This is the pad end of the gable side. On the pad, continuous water is sprayed, and the fans fans work like exhaust fans, and the cross ventilation of air takes place, and the fan pad system keeps the temperature down inside the polyhouse. Inside the polyhouse, it also maintains humidity as required by the specific crops. This is another photograph of fan pad polyhouse. This is the fan end. This is the pad end, and the construction of this also is in progress. So types of greenhouse structures, as just we have seen the photographs, they are steel. They are made of steel, tubular steel or angles, then open vent and fan pad system, and then the next is gutter on arc or gutter on column is the variation in their structure. We'll see what gutter on arc and gutter on column is. This polyhouse is gutter on arc type. It has 8 by 4 grid size, and the gutters are on the arc. The first photograph I had shown, it is also gutter on arc. I will show it again. This is the small arc, this is the small arc, and the gutter will come here. You can see the part of gutter on this arc. Then there is a variation also, the gutter on column variation. This is the photograph of a structure where the gutter is on column. This is the gutter on column variation. This is the column, small column, and the gutter is on this columns. This variation has a little less cost compared with the gutter on arc structure. This is also a gutter on column. Roses are planted in it. This is gutter on column structure. You can see various components. You can see the plan of the polyhouse. Then the components of polyhouse. What are the components of the structures? The main components are galvanized steel structure, which contains main columns. These are main columns. It contains bottom tie. Then it has arcs, small arc, large arc, side arc. Then it has corridors. It has corridor members. These all structures are fitted on foundations inserts. Foundations are excavated and an insert is put in the concrete, and on that insert the structure is erected. We'll see. This is the typical foundation on which we erect the structure. It has definite 8 by 4 or 8 by 4 grid size. Mostly 99% of polyhouses in India are constructed on 8 by 4 grid size. You will see here the actual construction of foundation inserts. On the foundation inserts, we put main columns, then arcs. This is also a photograph where erection is in progress. For erection, we need a team, the team who which is expert in that that particular job. No one else can do that job because they are trained in that, and for that we need trained persons to erect the polyhouse. This is also a photograph showing erection in progress. You can see the workers climbed on the structure and doing the erection work. This is the gutter. This is the gutter on column. This is the gutter on arc. The gutter is on arc, and this is the gutter, galvanized steel gutter. These galvanized pipes structures. This is the large arc. This is small arc on this other side, and a column small bit. This is the bottom tie. These are brackets, and various fixtures are used for erection of polyhouse. This is also this team is now fitting the gutters on arc. So this erection of polyhouse is a specialized job, and the erecting teams should be trained in that particular job. Proper fitting and proper stitching of polyfilm is necessary and important in erection of polyhouse. So these are done by the expert team while erecting the polyhouse. Then next structure is shed net structure. Shed net structures are also steel tubular or angles. Shed net can be constructed in wooden or bamboo structure also. And there are two types of shed nets, flat top and round top. I will show you the photographs of these structures. This is a shed net on galvanized steel pipes. It has a flat top and corridors on all sides. Essentially, the bottom of the polyhouse or shed net house is of the GFAB solid material from where, because the carbon dioxide should not escape from polyhouse, and carbon dioxide being heavier than air, it settles at the bottom of the polyhouse, and to uh, to stop it there from to, to keep it there from dispersing, we have to put this apron or skirting, what we call, of GFAB. Inside of this net, you will see the skirting specifically. Then this is the shed insect net, and the top is shed net. This is 50% shed net, generally used in white color for vegetables. This plantation is capsicum. This shed net house is flat type, but it is on angles instead of galvanized pipes. On angles, it is little cheaper, but fabrication takes more time, and erection also, it should be done by expert team. This is the top. On the top is 50% shed net, and on the side is insect net, and on the bottom here you can see it is the GFAB skirting to arrest carbon dioxide. This is round top type shed net house. It is entirely covered with the shed net, as usual, with bottom side with GFAB skirting, and top it is all shed net. This is inside view of a round type shed net. See the structure. Generally, shed nets are flat type, but some farmers prefer round type. Then comes the next structure. It is polytunnel. This is a large tunnel wherein you can walk. So this is called a walk-in tunnel. Tunnels don't have the don't need the gutter because they are single span. This is a small tunnel. This is also walk-in type, but little smaller. Generally, small tunnels are used for seedling production. Nursery. This is a small tunnel wherein you cannot walk. This is called see-through, or also known as low tunnel. This is also a low tunnel for vegetables. Then next structure is crop cover or row cover. Crop cover or row covers are specially put on the rows of the crop or instead of entirely covering the area which costs more. This has specific benefits that the pest attack is less. In case of grapes, where we put this crop cover or row cover, the attack of downy mildew is found to be minimum, or in some cases it is not at all there. And the benefits from other agencies, attack of other agencies are also found in row covers or crop covers. Generally, in our area, crop covers or row covers are used for grapes and for pomegranate. This is the schematic drawing of crop cover or row cover. Structures are variously made from pipes, from bamboos, from angles, and the cover, the row cover is also of various materials. Some farmers use GFAB, some farmers use polyfilm, and some farmers use shed net also. So the row cover or crop cover, various covering material is used by various farmers. In some cases, the crop cover is also of the non-woven fabric, which is cheaper than all type of films and nets. This structure is on top, it is covered with polyfilm, and on the bottom it is entirely covered without skirting by shed net. So various individual farmers do their own experiments and do erect the structures like this. This is a bamboo greenhouse for a nursery, and you can see the ventilation here outside. This is the polyfilm. This is a gutter, and this is the structure of bamboo. It is a low height structure because it is used for nursery, and its cost is very less. Bamboo structure is generally 50% of the cost of galvanized structure, steel structure. And this is also a wooden structure. This is a wooden structure for shed net house, wherein nursery operation is in progress. This is specially erected for nursery. It doesn't have a side cladding of shed net. It has only GFAP to arrest carbon dioxide and top net to cover, to protect it from heavy sun, from scorching sun. So this type of structure is also very cheap and cost effective, and farmers are going in for wooden structures or structures also. In this specifically, we can see that there is no side cladding of shed net or insect net, and therefore its temperature is cooler as compared with the structures having side cladding of insect nets. In insect nets, side cladding, the temperature inside this shed net house or polyhouse is much more, and in those cases, we need foggers or fans to bring down the temperature. So this is a better option for polyhouses and shed net houses, and it reduces the cost also. This is a bamboo polyhouse, a small bamboo polyhouse made for some tribal farmers, and its cost is, the benefit is low cost. So in bamboo also we can make polyhouses, and in very economically take the production for these poor farmers. So we have seen what structures are and how they are made, what are the components. But there are many things, many opportunities, and many improvements that are possible. First is this structure of polyhouses is very costly. If you make the steel structure, it is very costly. So cost reduction is one of the challenges, and it should be taken up by experts and researchers. So can we effectively use wood, bamboo, or composites thereof to bring down the cost of material? Wooden and bamboo polyhouses we can make, and we can use them also, but farmers themselves are not ready because they are not comfortable. They doubt the life of bamboo polyhouse or wooden polyhouse, and also the financing banks also are also reluctant to give loans for bamboo polyhouse. So that is why this subject has not come up, and it is in a very primary stage. The research should be more research should be done, and more stable bamboo polyhouses should be designed so that they will be cost effective and economical. Cost reduction is possible also in erection. As I already told you, that the erection teams are experts in erection of the polyhouse structure. So their cost is too much, and therefore, if we can make structures which can be erected by farmers or local laborers, or if we can train more people to construct and erect polyhouses, then this erection cost will also come down. Then modifications in the polyhouse like only skirting or the structures without side cladding of shed net and without side cladding of insect net will also bring down the cost because they will not have roll-up curtains and their mechanism and cost of film and net will also be reduced, and these modifications will bring down the cost. In that also, the research is necessary how the crops behavior, how the crops behave, and what are the results. Then government taxes. Polyhouse structure is a costly structure, and GST on polyhouse structures is 18%. So if a 10 lakh a structure costing 10 lakh rupees will attract GST of 1.8 lakhs, and for 1 acre structure the cost is 40 lakh rupees, and some 7.2 lakhs is spent in GST. So government taxes are, because these structures are costly, government taxes are also very heavy. Some subsidies are available from National Horticulture Board and National Horticulture Mission, but instead of giving subsidies, if the taxes are abolished, then the structures will be very cost effective, and the structures will come into more numbers, more farmers will come, more farmers will uh, come for the protected cultivation structures. Then there are research opportunities also. With the cross-ventilated polyhouses without insect net and roll-up curtains are used, what are the crops behavior? What are the differences in yield of the crop? If we modify the structure for in those modified structure, what are the crops behavior is the main field of research which we should do. With all this research and with all these structural modifications, cost effectiveness, if the farmers are comfortable, then only this subject can come up, and more polyhouses, more and more polyhouses, better crop, better benefits to farmers can be imparted. Thank you. This is my presentation, and if any questions are there, you are free to ask whatever I can impart from my knowledge. I will reply.
Thank you, Mr. Yashpal, for the detailed presentation. Now I'll take up some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question is, okay, do you provide consultancy service?
Yes, we provide consultancy services in design. We provide consultancy services in preparation of project reports and also for subsidies procedure.
Okay. And next question is, what is the difference between polyhouse and greenhouse? Or are they same?
Polyhouse and greenhouse are same. Previously, when this structure came into being, plastic was not invented. So in the very beginning, 17th, 18th century, the polyhouses were made of glass covering. They were that time known as glass houses. Then after the invention of the plastic film being cheaper and lighter, the structures also needed to be lighter, and then they were known as greenhouses. But since the structures using polyfilm, they this Not in polyfilm, polyhouse also came into being, and polyhouse and greenhouse is the same thing. Greenhouse is this greenhouse, what we call greenhouse gases. Greenhouse is it doesn't have anything to do with color. It is the protected cultivation structure known as greenhouse and polyhouse. Polyhouse and greenhouse are same.
Okay. So like it's protected with green covering.
Pardon?
It's named as greenhouse. So is it protected with green covering?
No, not green covering. It is protected with polyfilm.
Polyfilm. Okay.
Polyhouse and greenhouse doesn't allow rain to enter into it. Whereas shed net house, rains enter into the shed net house.
Okay. Okay. And what are the fruits and vegetables you are growing in protected cultivation?
Um, Very popular and mostly grown vegetables are capsicum or bell pepper, what you know, also known as bell pepper, capsicum, then tomato, then cucumber. These are the 90% of vegetables taken into the polyhouse or shed house. Also, some exotic vegetables like broccoli are also taken in the polyhouses. Then mostly in polyhouses, flowers, what we call floriculture, flowers are taken mainly gerbera, carnations, and roses. Then also anthurium is also taken, and orchid flowers are also taken in the polyhouses.
Okay.
Because in polyhouses, uh, the problem is with pollination, and pollination is done by external agencies of honeybees and insects. And in the polyhouse, honeybees and insects cannot enter. So the natural pollination doesn't take place, and self-pollinating crops only can be taken, or the crops that don't need pollination. In tomato, pollination is generally artificially done, but now some self-pollinating varieties are coming up. So that's why there is a limitation of number of vegetables taken to be taken in the polyhouse. Then there is one more thing is rates.
This is an
Crops,
important aspect of education. Same education, it's an integral part of the
yes.
Okay. And next question is, what is the approximate cost of setting up a protected structure?
At present market rates, the polyhouse structure
education.
costs nearly 1,000 to 1,200 per square meter. This is only for structure and polyfilm. Then inside the polyhouse, we have to prepare beds, and we have to provide the planting materials, that is seedlings, and all these basal dose fertilizers, all this, and then the drip irrigation system. All the cost per acre is nearly 50,000 for polyhouses, and nearly 30,000 for, nearly 50 lakhs for polyhouses per acre, and nearly 30 lakhs for shed net houses per acre. This can be taken as a indicative price.
Okay. And next question is, can vegetables be grown in protected structures in any season?
Yes, vegetables can be grown in any season, because we can provide artificially, we can provide the climate that that is needed for that particular vegetable. Off-season vegetables we can take, and when we take off-season vegetables, or in case of crop cover, we can take early production of fruits. and then we can fetch better prices.
Okay. And what are the projects you have taken recently?
We have constructed many polyhouses. Now with IIT Mumbai, we have constructed some bamboo polyhouses also. One of the photographs I have shown. They are doing some work with some NGOs, and in that we have constructed small bamboo polyhouses also. Now with the NGO BIF, they are also inquiring for bamboo polyhouses for small farmers and tribal farmers.
Hmm.
Then
Okay.
the polyhouses we regularly do. Shednet houses we regularly do in steel structures for which bank finance is available. Subsidies also available from state government as well as from National Horticulture Board.
Okay. So now we have the last question. Please let us know a little about your career background and how you got interested in this particular subject.
Yes, no, I don't follow the question.
Please let us know a little about your education background and how you got interested in this particular subject.
I have done my bachelor's degree in agriculture and then post-graduation in agricultural engineering. So I can design structures also, and I can uh, provide knowledge on cultivation also under one roof. I started my business in 1980. After 3 to 4 years of job, then I started my own business, and polyhouses we started in 2007 thereafter. We diverted, we in the beginning we started with irrigation systems, pipelines, and project preparation. When this polyhouses subject came into being, from 2007, we also diverted into polyhouse manufacturing and direction. So with farmers where I am working for more than 40 years.
Okay.
Irrigation systems is also our expertise, and I have given one of your lectures on irrigation also.
Okay. So how do you market your produce? You help in marketing also, selling?
No, we
Yeah.
don't help in marketing, but we can guide them.
Hmm. Hmm.
We directly don't help, but we can guide them, farmers.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Yashpal, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a very detailed presentation
Yeah,
and answering all the questions. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
thank
You're most welcome, sir. Thank you.
you. Chaitanya.